Stare at this for a moment. A simple checkerboard. Nothing complicated. But keep looking. Do the intersections start to shimmer? Do you see faint, ghostly gray dots appearing in the white corners that vanish the moment you try to look directly at them? This is the Hermann grid illusion, and it's our first clue. Now look away at a blank wall. You might see a fleeting afterimage, a ghostly grid where the colors are flipped. These aren't tricks of the light. They are echoes of a frantic conversation happening inside your own head, specifically in your primary visual cortex. This area, V1, is the brain's first port of call for raw data from your eyes. It's not seeing a board, it's seeing a collection of primitive components, lines, angles, and edges. Your visual cortex is populated by millions of highly specialized neurons called simple cells. Think of them as hyper-specific detectors. One neuron might fire only when it detects a vertical edge at a particular spot in your field of view. Its neighbor might be tuned exclusively to a horizontal edge. Another is waiting for a 45-degree angle. A checkerboard is a weapon of mass stimulation for these cells. It's a dense, repeating field of perfectly horizontal and vertical lines at maximum possible contrast. The moment you look at it, an enormous population of these specific neurons begins to fire intensely and simultaneously. It's a sudden, overwhelming symphony where every instrument is playing the same two notes as loud as possible. This neural shout is only the beginning. These neurons are constantly influencing their neighbors through a crucial mechanism called lateral inhibition. To make an edge appear crisp and sharp, a neuron that is strongly stimulated by light actively sends signals to its immediate neighbors telling them to fire less. It's a competitive system. By suppressing the activity around it, the neuron's own signal stands out, effectively sharpening the perceived boundary between light and dark. This is incredibly useful for spotting a single line, like the contour of a predator hiding in the brush. It's why you can distinguish fine details. But on a checkerboard, this brilliant edge enhancement system creates a neural paradox. Take a white square. The neurons responding to it are all screaming light and are furiously trying to inhibit all their neighbors. But their neighbors are the neurons responding to the black squares, and they are screaming dark with equal intensity, trying to inhibit the white square neurons right back. Every neuron is locked in a tug-of-war with every other adjacent neuron. The entire network is thrown into a state of maximum excitation, battling maximum inhibition. This creates a noisy, contradictory signal that the brain struggles to resolve. This is the source of the shimmering, the instability. Your brain is fundamentally an energy conservation machine. It's a master of finding the easy way out, a process known as predictive coding. When you look at a natural scene, like a forest or a cloudy sky, it's visually complex, but it contains statistical regularities, fractal patterns that your brain evolved over eons to process with remarkable efficiency. A man-made geometric grid is the opposite of this. Its brutal, perfect repetition is profoundly unnatural. It offers no easy patterns to predict and dismiss, forcing the exact same neural circuits to fire relentlessly, with no variation and no rest. It's the neural equivalent of listening to a single, piercingly loud audio tone for minutes on end. Your auditory system would fatigue. The same exhaustion happens in your visual system. This sustained, high-frequency firing is metabolically expensive. It's a power drain. Neurons firing that intensely consume a disproportionate amount of glucose and oxygen delivered by blood flow. fMRI scans show this as a hotspot of activity in the visual cortex. The brain's resource management systems can interpret this localized, sustained energy drain as a sign of cellular distress, an error state. In response, it can trigger protective, aversive reactions. That feeling of eye strain isn't actually in your eyes. It's a mild headache originating from the overworked visual processing centers in your brain. For some individuals, this effect is much more pronounced. This is sometimes called pattern glare or pattern-induced visual stress. For people with this sensitivity, looking at high-contrast repeating patterns like stripes or grids can quickly induce feelings of nausea, dizziness, and even trigger the aura phase of a migraine. Neuroscientists theorize this is caused by hyperexcitable cortical neurons. The unnatural pattern drives these sensitive networks into a state of runaway feedback, a reverberating electrical storm that the brain cannot easily dampen. The discomfort is a powerful protective signal. It's your brain's way of yelling at you to look away from the problematic stimulus. So, the next time a pattern on a shirt or a tiled floor makes your eyes feel weird, you're not imagining it. You are experiencing a complex cascade of neural events. It begins with the overstimulation of simple cells, amplified into a paradoxical war of lateral inhibition, leading to metabolic stress from inefficient, sustained firing. You are feeling the friction between a visual system designed for the subtle chaos of nature and the brute force regularity of an artificial design. It's a reminder that seeing isn't just a passive reception of light. It is an active, energetic, and sometimes exhausting process. Monotony has grown fast. Nearly 2,700 people have watched in the last few weeks, yet less than 0.03% are subscribed. It would mean a lot if you joined by hitting subscribe. And again, thanks for watching.